Occurred, the 28th of October 2007, 3 hours 26 minutes and 0 seconds. Location: Michigan City, in USA. Shape: other duration: 30 seconds. No of observers. 1 blacked out, silent wing-shaped object flying at approximately 1,500 feet, 300 knots over Lake Michigan. I was just leaving the police station where I work to resume patrolling. I work midnight shifts, 5:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. I have never previously seen what I would consider a UFO. Note: I do have extensive aircraft observation time, as when I was stationed in Iraq in 2005, my unit was positioned in a location very close to the airfield. The object came into my peripheral vision from the right. I was standing facing due north. At first I assumed it was a bird, but when I began visually observing it, it was obvious that it wasn't, as it had a smooth, man-made appearance. Also, it was obvious that it was fairly far off and at a much higher altitude than one would expect to see a bird. This is especially true since in the region in which I live, during this time of the year there is little bird activity, especially at night. The object appeared to be flying at an altitude of around 1,500 feet and at a slightly oblique angle to me. It appeared not much smaller than AC-130 at that altitude, but I could not make out a fuselage, etc., that one would expect to see on an aircraft. The object moved rapidly, much faster than a helicopter, perhaps several hundred miles an hour. It appeared to bank to the left, northwest, as it passed in front of me. It was an extremely smooth banking turn and the full wing shape became quite visible at that time. As it reached full bank, object perpendicular to the ground, I lost sight as it passed behind a building. Due to my angle of observation, that's the last I saw of it. The object was gray in color. It blended well with the cloudless night sky, especially as affected by urban light pollution. There were no visible markings. Intriguingly, the object made no sound. At that distance, if it were an aircraft like AC-130, one would have definitely heard the engine drone clearly. Also, there was no jet sound as one would expect to hear from a jet flying so close. I thought that, as in the case of an A-10, I might hear the sound after the craft had passed overhead. I heard no sounds. The flight characteristics exhibited seemed to indicate it was an aircraft. But as previously stated, it lacked a fuselage, any markings, and was completely blacked out. There were no lights of any kind visible. Furthermore, the object left no contrail. I am, as one might expect, fascinated by what I saw. But I certainly cannot explain it. Though it exhibited some aircraft flight characteristics, I could not identify it as any aircraft I've ever seen, in person or through research.
Occurred, the 16th of December 2015, 5 hours 35 minutes and 0 seconds. Location: Michigan City, in USA. Shape: light duration, 3.5 minutes. Characteristics: lights on object, aura or haze around object, changed color with the aforementioned date and time. I was turning into the rear area of my duty station, where I encountered a strange-looking animal like that I perceived as possibly being either a reptile, raccoon, possum, or whatever. What was so alarming to me was that it appeared to have some weird back legs and the face was at least eyes were flashing with a blinking motion. I was stunned by its shape and looks. I stopped my vehicle to investigate as to what I thought I saw. I pulled up against a grassy areas with a background of trees and beyond that apartment complexes. I always arrive on or about that time, and one day before this encounter I heard dogs cry with most unusual sounds, yet I thought nothing of it, until Wednesday, December 16, 2015. As stated, I encountered this strange-looking object that ran into the grass, and while I was watching it, the object began to start a communication signal. The eye sockets were blinking like off and on. Then it went diagonally with lights turning, from white, red, blue or greenish. I picked up my cell, pointed in the direction of this light, and captured the first 0.55 seconds, at which I was looking for my iPad to capture more, yet I continued with the cell phone and captured 2.45 minutes of the remaining observation of this unknown object. I informed a coworker arrived approximately 6:15 and asked him accompany me out that general once daylight arrived. We both gone out and seen nothing or no trace of what I was seeing. However, it was approximately 1500 hours, 1 hour before my departure from work, that I showed the captured unknown object to my coworkers, and it was then that I noticed other unknown object, approximately 11 of them flying and around trees, and a few were within the grass area. Well, the recording will tell the story from there. I am not sure what it is or who, but I do know it is not something I ever encountered before.
Occurred the 17th of May 2015, 14 hours 40 minutes and 0 seconds. Location: Michigan City, in USA. Shape: cigar duration 5 seconds. No of observers. 1 characteristics: aura or haze around object. Odd, dark and dense cigar-shaped object appeared in photo on a farm in Michigan City, in. I'm 38 years old, white, blonde female, born and raised in Manhattan, college educated. Recently bought a 14-acre farm in Michigan City, in, next to a 300-acre, unusual soil and plant life nature preserve, Ambler Flatwoods. My profession is an author, hypnotherapist. The second witness is my cousin, white male, red hair, 37 years old, college educated. He works for his father's metal recycling company. May 17, 2015, at approximately 2:40 p.m., my cousin and I were sitting by a 1.3-acre pond on my farm property and looking up, admiring a very tall tree nearby. I positioned my cell phone to take a picture of the tree. At that time, the sky was clear, no planes, sounds nor birds seen as we were looking up at the tree and surrounding sky. I saw nothing except sky and the tree through my phone camera as I was trying to position the frame for the best angled shot. As soon as I took the photo and checked it, and saw a rather dark and dense cigar, cyclical object with a slight bright aura around it very close to the tree's image in the photograph. I quickly turned to my cousin and said, "What is this?" Now, admittedly, I have been interested in ETs and alternative spirituality for quite some time, though I certainly would rather my photo be debunked than jump to wild conclusions.
Occurred the 6th of August 2022, 2 hours 23 minutes and 0 seconds. Location: Michigan City, IN, USA. Location details: 3205 South Court, Michigan City, Indiana. 46,360 Shape: unknown. Duration: longer than an hour. No of observers. 2 characteristics: aura or haze around object. Emitted beams. I honestly can't explain what I saw. It moved but never out of sight or even very far. I honestly don't know. I had come to sit out in the car with my boyfriend, and we noticed a bright light in the sky. We thought maybe it was a star, but it was moving up and down and side to side occasionally. It was flashing but not super bright. It would dim and then flash again. It was not a plane. It never went out of view, and we watched it for more than an hour. I took a video on a Samsung Galaxy 22 and magnified to 100 so you could see the movement.
Occurred the 25th of March 1995, 22 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Location: Kingsford Heights, IN, USA. Shape: triangle. Duration: 1 minute. No of observers. 3 triangle-shaped objects hovering overhead. I was in backyard with telescope. I was not using scope when I saw the objects. I was looking in the sky when all of a sudden above me I saw a red triangle-shaped object hovering above me and spinning. It appeared to be at a very high altitude. Then all at once 2 more objects joined it. All 3 were hovering above my head. I was startled, but I could not look away. I was amazed. I had never seen anything like this before, and I have never seen them since. They were just hovering, and then all at once they sped away faster than I had ever seen anything fly. I then ran into the house and told my wife, and she acted as if she didn't believe me. I know what I saw. They did not make any noise that I could hear. I saw no LGHTS on them. All 3 objects were solid red. That is all the info that I have.